Welcome, my name's Kathy A, and today I'm going to be doing a special on flower cosmetics, and of course that's Drew Barrymore's line that she sells exclusively through Walmart. I broke down and went down there and I bought something completely from the line. I have been using flower for the last week and a half, and I've probably taken back almost as much as I have today. So I've tried several different items. Some things were hits, some things were misses, and I think before I do a little tutorial about how I got to this face from where I was, I'm going to do a little bit of a history on the brand, and granted it's a newer brand, it's only a few years old, so so there's not a whole lot to tell, but you know, at least you'll learn a little bit more about Drew Barrymore.
The flower story begins with Drew Barrymore. She was born in 1975 in California to movie star royalty, the infamous Barrymores. At age 11 months, she appeared in a Puppy Choice dog food commercial, and at age 3, she was already acting, cast in the film Suddenly Love. But it wasn't until 1982's E.T. that we fell in love with Gertie. Drew's mother, Hungarian actress Jade, kind of let her daughter run amok in the Hollywood trash scene, and as she grew and took different movie roles, she actually wound up in a lot of trouble. By age 9, she was drinking. By age 10, she was smoking pot. By age 12, she was snorting cocaine. By 13, she had gone to rehab twice. Drew wrote a book about it called Little Girl Lost when she was only 14 years old, and this kind of documented her horrific childhood and her partying ways. While she was sober and cleaning up her ways, so to speak, she was given a lot of hot girl, bad girl kind of roles, and she played Lolita-type people, drug addicts, troublemakers, and crazy people. Her sexual image was really starting to grace the movie theaters, and she also had a role in Scream as a victim, and she was given the option of taking the lead in it. As she made more movies, she actually came into her beauty, and she graced many magazine covers. In 1995, she graced another magazine, this time fully nude. Her godfather, Steven Spielberg, was so horrified by this, he had all of her photos retouched. He sent them to her with a quilt, with a note, "Cover up." She met several of her boyfriends and husbands doing films, and wound up, again, a successful actress in many films. Drew was in enough films that she kind of wanted to direct and produce her own, so she decided to go in with a few people and open Flower Films, her own film company. It was a great group of people, and very talented too. They came out with several films, such as Never Been Kissed, and the infamous and very popular Charlie's Angels. Drew also appeared in the film, one of my favorites, called Music and Lyrics. She actually did some singing in it. Drew was really growing up, becoming a wonderful young woman. She finally had met the man of her dreams. He wasn't necessarily her first husband, but she was in love with him. They had a beautiful wedding and a wonderful, beautiful baby girl named Olive. At this point, Drew had literally grown up sitting in makeup chairs, and she was a CoverGirl makeup spokesperson for over 6 years. She decided to open Flower Cosmetics. This is her own line of cosmetics, and she has hands-on production, power, and choice and selection. She's one of the testers for the line. And there's a wonderful assortment of bright, fresh spring colors. She also does makeup reviews, makeup tips on her YouTube video channel. Her makeup is cruelty-free. And it's got a wonderful line of a great variety of different types of products and innovative packaging and colors. This brand has won a Cosmetics Award for Best Newcomer of the Year for 2013, and Drew continues to be a very valid and valuable part of the company. She also is continuing to make films, and they're very popular right now. Blended should be out very soon, but more importantly, her new baby is on its way any day now. Drew continues to evolve into a wonderful person, and we look forward to her future endeavors. Going right into the face tutorial, we're starting off with the In Your Prime Perfecting Face Primer. And this is kind of a cream type variety. I'm not rubbing it hard into my skin, but I'm just covering all the areas, trying to get into all the little dings and dents, St. Bernard lines. Moving on, this is the Face the World Tinted Moisturizer. It's a nice consistency to this. And I'm just kind of spreading it out with my fingers. I'm going to try a brush to see how that goes. It's a very thin, very wet formula, so I didn't think that was as successful. It was very thin, so I'm putting a second coat on. And with this one, I'm going to just kind of move it in with my fingers. I think maybe using my fingers might help it meld into the skin a little better. I'm just doing half my face because I'll be doing the other half with something else. This is the Skin Cognito Stick Foundation, and a lot of people have raved about this, so I couldn't wait to try it. Little war paint thing going on there. I was going to draw pictures, and then I thought there's not enough face room there. So I'm just using a beauty blender with this one because it is a little thick, it is a little dry, and I thought maybe the beauty blender might help it out. It's slightly damp. Now the coverage is really good. It's not sinking into my wrinkles or anything like that. However, it is a little dry, and as you'll find out later on, it doesn't last very long. Now I'm just checking where it's settled into my wrinkles or along my hairline. I'm just kind of patching up things to make sure it looks. Now that side's too wet and this side's too dry. That's too dry, that's too wet. Okay, alright, we got it. Alright, moving on to, let's do some cheek stuff. No, we're going to do the Lighten Up Brightening Concealer. This is a liquid format, a lot like the Lumi kind of thing. Just putting a little bit underneath my eye. There's no setup time whatsoever, so I have to work very quickly, using my fingers to kind of melt it into the skin. Just going on the center of the face, just under the nose, third eye. Doing the other side, the same concealer. It's supposed to lighten and brighten. I'm going to use a light foundation concealer brush to see if I can smooth it in that way. Especially around my nose, I noticed it was awfully patchy looking. I wasn't a big fan. This is the Powder Trip Powder Foundation, and I thought it was just a pressed powder because I love the loose powder. I figured I'd do the pressed because it wouldn't be as messy. I'm just using a very large brush, very lightly, it doesn't look like it's lightly, but lightly swishing it over my face, and actually really set the makeup well on both sides. I was very happy with what happened. Now I'm checking again, just going to make sure everything looks okay, and I'm pretty impressed. The powder foundation worked really well over the top of the other foundations. Their loose powder is outstanding too. Now here's a Glow Baby Glow blusher and bronzer, and I think it's called Golden Days or something. The name didn't seem to go with what it was. And it's kind of a darker, sort of muddy looking bronzer. It is a matte. I chose it because it was a matte. I'm just going down there trying to get some of those double chins out and just blending it a little bit with my fingers. Going into the blush now, just on the apples of my cheeks and back a little bit. It's a pretty kind of bright spring pink, and it's not bad. And there's 10 and 2, there on my eyes and down in upper décolleté. It's my conservative décolleté today. Now I'm going in with an eyebrow brush, and I am actually using the bronzer as my eye powder. I know that the line does have a brow pencil, but I could not find it in any of the Walmarts that I went into. Of course, this is exclusively sold through Walmart. Very agitating. Now this is Glisten Up Highlighter Chubby, the big old fat stick of shiny highlighter, and I really liked it. I thought it gave a nice glow. Kept it away from my crow's feet. That was that little signal I made there. Put it just under the eyes, just inside the tear duct area. It wasn't bad. This is the Shadow Play Eyeshadow Quad. This is one of 3 that I tried. This one had a pretty good assortment of colors. You could do a complete eye with this. I voted on this one to demonstrate with. Using the lightest color on the lid. These are all matte shades in this particular quad. And I'm using several coats because I don't see it. I can't see it. Just sprayed a little bit over the top of where I'd put that concealer highlighter thing, but I still don't see it. So I'm not a real happy camper with that one. Going into that mid shade, I'm going to use that in the crease, just going from the halfway out, doing a half moon on each side, just above the crease. I'll be blending all this out later, but for now I'm just laying the color down. Almost imitating my eyebrows with this particular sweep. Now this dark color is extremely pigmented. I was a little startled by it at first, and it looks very messy right now, and I'm laughing at how silly it looks. But I'm going to use a big large brush with nothing on it and just blend it out, and it nearly disappears. It's so easy to blend out, and hence there's a problem with that. The best color in that quad is that dark color, and it is an excellent one. The sun came out brighter, sorry. Going back to the blush, and I'm going to use the blush itself as a transition color. I'm just sort of painting it with my finger over the top of the crease color. I'm not going all the way up to the brow, I'm just going just slightly over the crease color. And I'm going back to the quad to this little blue that they have in there, and I'm just doing the center of my eyelid. I call that my color bar, just for a little pop of color. Trying back in there with yet a 6th coat of the light color on the lid, see if that helps. Now this is the Double Take Eye Marker in Cream Shadow. It's kind of an eyeliner on one end and a cream grayish shadow on the other. I think it's called Steal a Kiss. I just drew a smile with the marker side. There we go. Okay, I'm using the felt tip marker side. It's a dark gray, but it looks almost black. And as with any type of eyeliner, I thought it was a little awkward to use and a little messy. And once you lay down that line, it didn't really want to budge. So you have to kind of know what you're doing when you're playing with this particular one. I'm just going down in the outer third of my lower lash line. And I'm going to go over that with the other side, which is a cream eyeshadow on a doe foot applicator. I'm just going over the top to soften it up a little bit and give it a little bit of grayish color, because I just think it's too harsh being really dark. And it seems to do a good job with that. And I'm going back in to the eye color, to that dark color, to try to blend in a little bit more because it looked a little messy to me. And now I'm going to the cream shadow, and with the doe foot, I'm actually going to just draw a little bit of a line underneath my eye with that light grayish color on that cream shadow. And it's not bad. Going into the Zoomed In 3-in-1 mascara. Now this mascara is very unique, and I didn't demonstrate it here, and I wish I had. I just kept it on one setting, but you basically, once you unscrew the wand, there's a round dial on the end of it, and you can actually change the shape of the wand. It twists within itself, so you get like 3 different shapes of a wand. I just left it on the shape that gave me the biggest lashes, and boy, am I bad. When I first tried it, I tried it with the 3 different settings. It's hard to click into the next setting, but once you do, you can actually see the physical difference in the wand. It's very unique. I mean, it's cool to just see that. But the only setting that seemed to work was just the plain old flat one. And I'm just going under with my e.l.f. makeup eraser because I messed up with that mascara. I don't know what I'd do with that e.l.f. without that e.l.f. makeup eraser. Okay, fixing my hair. And now it's time for the lips. This is a nude lip liner from the Line and Shine lip liner area. And by nude, I didn't think it would erase my lips. I thought it was just going to kind of blend in with them. But it just blended them out completely. So I know a lot of people like to use a nude liner like this, so it gives their lips a pure palette for the lipstick to go on, so the lipstick's more of a true color. And this is the Luxury Lip Color in Cosmopolitan. And it's a little lighter and a little brighter than I had thought it would be, so I thought I would get a darker lip gloss. And I couldn't read the color. It's so tiny. It's one of those -5 fonts. Shine On Lip Gloss, and the number is LG5 in case you're looking for it. It was very nice, except the problem was the dough stick is so sticky like a stick. It's like putting lip gloss on with a twig. I was really uncomfortable with it. But I really liked the color of the lip gloss. I thought it was pretty cool. Going into the nails now. This is the nail color in Cosmopolitan. Really pretty. Just going to paint one nail there. I don't know why that's going to demonstrate anything, but I did like it. It's very shiny, very nice, and I am done.
I really like Drew Barrymore a lot. I love her films. I think Music and Lyrics is one of my favorite all-time movies. That's a chick flick that I turn to when I really want to smile. I'm very disappointed in the line in general, and initially when I put the look on, this look, I've worn it at work several days now, and one day, and this is very telling, I came home from work and I was talking to my husband, and he said, "You know, this is the first time I've seen you with no makeup on." And I hadn't taken my makeup off. It's just that it disappeared into the great void of makeup atmosphere. I don't know, but it looked like I had absolutely not a stitch of makeup on at the end of my work day. So it completely disappeared. To be fair, I didn't use a setting spray because I just used all flower products. So it just didn't last. My ugly old skin peeled through after about 2.5 hours. So it didn't last. One side was too dry, one side was too wet, and it was hardly any coverage. But I did like the tinted moisturizer. It's a sheer tint, it's called. It really is just a light sheer tint over your skin. So if you have really nice skin and just want something to kind of maybe even it out a little bit, that was a really nice choice. It was very hydrating. I didn't see a problem with it. The foundation stick was a little dry, but it gave me some nice coverage, and it really wasn't too bad, except after 2.5 hours it was gone. It was completely gone. The powder, I really liked the powder, and it set the makeup so nicely on both sides. It set the wet side, it set the dry side, and the loose powder version is outstanding. I really love the powder, so I can't just diss the whole line because the powder was great. The concealer, I had literally no setup time. When I put that concealer on, it was almost dry the second I put it on, so I had to do one side at a time. This really sunk into dry patches and stuff, and by the second hour I could see all the little dots and patches and flakies, so it really accentuated that. So I wasn't as happy with the concealer as I was hoping. I did like the blush and bronzer. This bronzer is a little bit on the dirty looking side. some of you who've used bronzers know what I'm talking about, but sometimes a matte bronzer that's a little on the dark side will take on this kind of like dirt on the face look, and I didn't really like it, but it worked really well as a brow powder, and the blush worked really well as a transition color. So I liked this a lot, but again, they disappeared by the end of the evening, but it was a nice color combination, and it worked for the you know, what I needed to use it for. I did like very much this this stick. This is a kind of a shimmery glow stick, I guess you could call it. A little bit of a highlighter there. That worked really nicely. I think that was the only thing that remained, so I just looked like I was sweaty with no makeup on at the end of the day thanks to this. The eyeshadow quad was very, you could do an eye, I mean I did do an eye look with just this quad, but again, the colors didn't really last that well. When I used an eye primer from another brand, they did last a lot better, especially this dark brown. This is a wonderful color. I thought that color really stood out as exceptional, and I really liked this kind of periwinkle gray blue right here. But again, unless I used an eye primer, an eyeshadow primer, this didn't stay on. This literally disappeared into the great void horizon too, this light color. But I mean, as color combination, this is really nice for a fresh spring eye. You could really get a little dark. You could use this with a little water on your brush. You could use this as a nice eyeliner. But in general, this was my favorite of the palettes. I did try two of the other palettes, but they didn't. I like to do one eye look from a palette, and it doesn't happen a lot, but this one really worked nicely. They're matte shades, and I thought they worked really well, but you do need a primer underneath for them to stay on. And if you don't use the primer, the only color that stays on is the dark. So, the mascara, everybody talked about the Zoom mascara. This is lengthens, curls, and thickens, it says. It's called Zoom In, and if you zoom in, yeah, the lashes look nice, but again, they didn't last very long, and probably by about noontime, I put my makeup on about 6:37 in the morning, and then I go to work. Around noontime, I had little dingies, little blips on my eye area here, so it wasn't waterproof, I mean, or sweat proof or whatever, because the days are starting to get warmer now, so I was sweating a little bit when I went outside for lunch, and it did leave little marks. So it's a big fail for me, but this actually won Reader's Choice Awards. I don't know if it was Allure magazine or one of those magazines. The people voted this as #1 mascara, so maybe it's just on me. It didn't work that well, but I mean, I initially liked the look, but I didn't think it gave me a lot of great length, a lot of big honking lashes. It just gave me a nice basic look, so some of you may like that. One of my favorites in this line was this two-ended shadow and liner combo. I got the gray one because I thought it would be the most versatile, and I was right. The felt tip liner, it's when you're going over wrinkly, crinkly, crepey eyebrows with one of these, it's a bumpy road to love. It really is, and it gets all over the place. I mean, those of you who have crepey eyelids and wrinkles in your eyelids, you know what I'm talking about. When you try to draw on them and they, you know, they move, they move around. So it's like, I don't know. I guess it's kind of like trying to put lipstick on a cat. You know, you just can't do it. They just too much movement. You know, not that I've tried, but I couldn't. I didn't really think that this was a great way to put eyeliner on, but the combination of this and the oh, what did I do? The combination of this and this eyeshadow, which is a cream eyeshadow, and it's a pretty gray. I really liked it, and I thought it softened up the look a lot. And you could actually go with this gray into your crease if you really want to, you know, add some drama to the look. And you could line underneath with the shadow as well, because it's a pointed doe foot where you can do that. But the liner on itself was very dark, and I don't like to use a real dark liner like a black or anything like that. So I thought that this gray shadow really went well over the top of that, and also was nice in general as kind of an eyeliner shadow kind of thing. So this was a hit. I like this, and I may try another color in it. So that was the 2-in-1 eyeshadow and eyeliner combo. Now the price points weren't bad. They were probably around $8 to $12. It was, you know, reasonably priced. I'm not sure I like the nuding out of my lips. I understand that a lot of people like to do that so that they get a true color from the lipstick that they use, but I like to see a line, because it's kind of like when you were coloring when you were a kid. I like to know where the edges are, okay? And I didn't know where the edges were, and especially on an older lip, I don't want to have lipstick all over the place, look like Tammy Faye Baker or something. So this color was a little bit lighter, brighter or lighter than I thought it was going to be, and I think I would probably go, I did like the lipstick, but it did make my lips really dry and chapped. So after a few hours of wearing the lipstick with this lip gloss, my lips were so chapped all week, and I know it was the combination because I didn't wear anything else on my lips all week except these. So they were kind of a fail, but I really loved, especially this gloss was so nice on, just on its own. You know, it was a very pretty color, and I really thought it helped with the lightness of the lipstick. But like I said, it really was very drying, and it didn't last a whole long time. But I drink coffee, and I'm always doing stuff, and I'm always biting my lips, so you know, it could be a my bad there. Great colors. I did like the nail polish, and I tried a light lavender color, a light orchid color, because that's the color of the year. And it looked great. It went on like glass. It looked like really shiny mirror glass. It was so pretty, but the color was, it made me look like a corpse or something. You know, sometimes colors just don't look good on older people, like those light greens and stuff sometimes don't look so good. So I changed it out, and I got this color, which I thought was a nice spring color, and it was good. You need a top coat, and you need to wait between coats to paint your second coat, or you get the smush, and you know, you smush it up and it makes all wrinkles, and then you try to press it down with your finger, and then you get fingerprints in there, and then you put another coat over the top, and it doesn't ever look right. It just looks like a lumpy nail. So, you know, I didn't think there was anything special about the nail polish, except the colors were very pretty, but it did shine like glass, and it does shine, you know, really nicely, but it wasn't anything special. It wasn't really bad. It wasn't as bad as the e.l.f. or the NYX, but it was really, I thought it was okay, you know, but the price point, I think they were around $6, and I think for $6 you can get a better nail polish than that. So all in all, I'm really sorry that I didn't like the line better. It's going back. And I did also, just as a side note, I did try hard candy. I bought the whole line, everything in the line. I could not make it work. There were only 2 survivors, and I'll talk about them in my March favorites video. But hard candy just is not an age-friendly makeup in any sense of the word. So hard candy won't be demonstrated, and the story wasn't all that great anyway. Look at this, eyeliner won't come off. Isn't that something? So it won't be done. I'm sorry. Hard candy just isn't age-friendly, and I know a lot of you asked about it, but I couldn't make a face work with it that I could handle. And just the experiments that I tried on it were fails, total fails. So I've been enjoying reading your comments on the 1,000 subscriber contest, and it's really interesting, the perfumes that all of you like. That's really cool. You know, some of them are new ones, and a lot of them are classics, and some interesting scents. Some of you even have men's scents, and somebody just jokingly brought up that they liked their old strawberry musk oil from Woolworths back in the 1960s, which I think is hilarious, because I think that was my very first perfume, was Woolworths musk oil in strawberry scent, which was really loud and smelly. But when you're a teenager, you think, wow, this is great. You know, they say your olfactory nerves change as you get older, so maybe that's like why you can eat certain foods when you're a kid and you can't touch them as an adult because they're so gross. I don't know. Anyway, I hope everybody's having a wonderful weekend. I will be back on Sunday, tomorrow, for the drawing at noontime, and I've got, I don't know, I think I've got about 90 people already that are entered in, so that's really super. Everybody have a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. Toodles.